How does divorce affect the family-owned business? Hi, I'm Zachary C. Ashby at Pacific Northwest Family Law. Want to talk a little bit about entrepreneurs, people who own a family-run business, and what happens when you get divorced. This is important if you're self-employed and you have a few employees, you run a business, maybe you're partners with your spouse in the business, so they co-run it with you, but your relationship just isn't working out. How is a divorce or separation going to affect the business itself? Likely the business is going to be one of your major assets. You may have some others, depending on how long you've been in business. You might have some other investments or a house or maybe retirement packages, but very likely the most important is going to be the business because it's going to be the source of ongoing revenue. You're going to have to consider the operation of the business, the characterization of the business, protecting ongoing investments from the business and employees. The first one I'm going to talk about is the characterization of the business. Is this business community property, meaning that each spouse owns it, or is it separate? When it comes to businesses, it gets really complicated really quickly because even if you started a business before you were married, depending on the way that you received income from the business and the length of the marriage, part of that business may have converted into community property. Not only is Washington State a community property state, but the courts highly favor characterizing property as community property. The biggest way to protect yourself against the business converting to community property is to have good bookkeepers and accountants that keep your personal and your business financial matters separate, right? So you're not using the company card to pay your mortgage. You're not using it to eat out all the time and you just figure it out at the end. Just some things to keep in mind. The more you separate your personal and your business finances before the divorce, the easier it's going to be to keep it separate in the divorce if it's something that should be separate. Now, the other thing to bear in mind is the valuation of the business, because businesses can get a little bit murky, especially in a long-term marriage. The valuation of the business is important. You're likely going to need some kind of expert to evaluate it and take an approach to determining the value. Unless you and your spouse see eye to eye on what the value is, even then, as an attorney, I'm probably going to highly recommend that you spend a few dollars and get a valuation. Now, there are factors that might weigh in. If this is a kind of business where you're the only employee and it depends fully on you, maybe it's going to be a little bit less. But in a business where you have employees and you have a manager and you come in and you basically wind the clock and you set it in motion, that's going to have a lot more value and you're going to want to get it appraised. The other thing is, how are you going to continue daily operation? If you get the wrong attorney, a lot of your attention is going to be paid to your divorce. Or if you're trying to do it yourself, a lot of your attention and time is going to be taken away from the business. You're not going to be able to manage. You're not going to be able to focus on it because you're going to be preparing documents or financial statements or testimony or arguments coming up for the hearing. Now, it gets more complicated if your spouse was truly a business partner and maybe they run part of the business. Are you going to be able to continue to run the business despite the relationship? Or do you need to maybe hire someone else for a little bit so that the business continues to operate and continues to generate income to you both while you try and figure out your affairs? So those are other things to consider. Last one is employee morale. Call it the culture of your business, but you need to consider how your divorce is going to affect your employees. How involved was your spouse? Do you come into the office sad? Do you take out some of your frustrations with the way things are going on your employees? Are you a little bit shorter temper? All those things can affect your employees, their productivity, whether they're going to stay with you despite everything else falling apart, your relationship ending and the divorce coming in and everything else, all the madness that comes with that. Or are they going to start looking for employment somewhere else? Maintaining that morale is going to help you preserve the business after the divorce. Finally, when it comes time to hiring an attorney, finding an attorney who is more business minded to help you make sure that they take the burden off your shoulders, that they are able to find the right experts and the right people in place to help you get the affairs in order. Really important. It's going to help you long term. It's going to help you get better results in the short term and better agreements. So make sure you take care of that. Attorneys who not only do family law, but have access to or have experience in some kind of business or commercial setting is going to help you out. I hope that helps. Comment below, share it with your friends. Like and subscribe though, because that's going to help others find the video. It's going to help us know that the video's valuable and these efforts are valuable. So please do that. And if you need help right away, call 509-866-4111. Thank you.